As a physician, I need to be very direct about this. Poor circulation after 60 nearly triples your risk of falling, and falls at this stage of life are rarely harmless. Let me ask you something important before we continue. Have you noticed your legs feeling colder, heavier, or less reliable over the past few years? That's often the first warning sign my patients overlook. What most people are never told is that one specific drink can begin reversing this damage in hours. Not days. Not weeks. Hours. I'm going to explain exactly what starts happening inside your legs within the first 24 hours after drinking it. Clinically, one of the earliest changes people report is a gradual return of warmth in the feet. The tingling sensation begins to stop. That persistent numbness eases. I've ranked all 10 circulation drinks from worst to best, so you can clearly see which ones actually work and which ones are a complete waste of time. The number one drink on this list has been shown to widen arteries by up to 30%. 30%. From a medical perspective, that difference alone can separate shuffling carefully to the bathroom at night from walking with confidence and stability. It's the difference between chronically cold, numb feet and legs that finally function the way they are meant to. And here's the part that surprises many patients. This drink is often already sitting in your kitchen, but it's being used incorrectly. Stay with me, because what I'm about to explain contradicts much of the standard advice people receive. By the end of this, you'll understand why your circulation may have worsened despite following what you believed was expert guidance. Let me paint a clear picture of what's happening inside your legs right now. After the age of 60, blood vessels typically produce about 70% less nitric oxide. 70%. Nitric oxide is the key molecule that keeps arteries relaxed, flexible, and open. Without adequate levels, blood vessels don't just narrow, they stiffen, lose elasticity, and struggle to deliver blood to the feet. This goes far beyond cold toes. When circulation declines, muscles receive less oxygen, metabolic waste builds up, and nerve damage accelerates. What concerns me most clinically is this: microscopic clots begin forming inside those narrowed vessels. You can't see them. You can't feel them. But they accumulate silently, day after day. Most conventional advice includes aspirin, walking more, or elevating the legs. And while those steps may help a little, they treat symptoms, not the underlying cause. The real issue is the collapse of nitric oxide production. And that collapse is not inevitable. It is reversible. But you need to understand the science before we talk about the drinks. Here is where things change. Certain drinks stimulate nitric oxide production through basic, well-established biochemistry, proven in more than 3,000 clinical studies. The body converts specific compounds in these drinks directly into nitric oxide. When nitric oxide levels rise, arteries begin to relax within minutes. This process is called vasodilation, your blood vessels opening like wide highways instead of remaining clenched like narrow alleyways. When that happens, blood flow to the legs can increase by 40 to 60% in a single day. Patients often feel it immediately. The heaviness lifts, cramping subsides, feet begin to warm again. Over the following weeks, deeper healing begins. New capillaries form, nerve function improves, and fall risk drops significantly. But this is where it becomes critical. Not all circulation drinks are created equal. Some are ineffective, some come with real risks, and a few are true game changers that cost very little. I've spent 6 months reviewing the research, speaking with vascular surgeons, and testing these drinks myself. And now I'm ranking all 10 for you, starting with the ones that barely move the needle. Drink number 10. Regular water. Let's start with the obvious. Plain water. Yes, hydration matters. Dehydration thickens the blood and slows circulation. But here is the truth most people don't want to hear. Water alone does almost nothing to restore circulation after 60. And as a physician, this is something I have to explain to patients repeatedly. A study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology showed that hydration improved blood flow in older adults by only 8%. 8%. When you are facing an approximate 70% loss in nitric oxide production, that level of improvement is simply not enough to change symptoms in a meaningful way. If water alone were enough, Wouldn't your circulation have improved years ago just by staying hydrated? The problem is straightforward. Water contains no nitrate compounds. It does not stimulate vasodilation. It does not signal blood vessels to relax. It only maintains baseline function. Think of it as keeping your car from breaking down versus actually improving how it runs. You absolutely need water. Drink around 8 glasses per day. But do not expect hydration alone to repair poor circulation. It is the foundation, not the solution. Score: 2 out of 10. Necessary but insufficient. Drink number 9, green tea. Green tea is constantly promoted, and yes, it contains catechins that support vascular function. However, when we look specifically at leg circulation, the effect is limited. Research shows green tea increases flow-mediated dilation by about 12%. That is better than water, but still underwhelming. Here's why. Catechins work slowly. They improve endothelial function over months, not hours. There is also a consistency issue. Green tea only works if consumed regularly for 8 to 12 weeks, and missing even a few days reduces its benefits. In addition, caffeine can cause vasoconstriction in some individuals, which directly counteracts the intended effect. Green tea does have other benefits: antioxidants, metabolic support, and brain health. But for leg circulation after 60, it simply does not move the needle fast enough. Another important detail most people overlook is preparation. Using boiling water destroys up to 50% of the catechins. Water temperature should not exceed 170 degrees Fahrenheit. Score: 3 out of 10. Modest benefits, slow results. Drink number 8, tart cherry juice. Now we're starting to see a measurable effect. Tart cherry juice contains anthocyanins that reduce arterial stiffness. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed an 18% improvement in blood flow after 12 weeks. That is a real physiological change. Anthocyanins reduce inflammation in the vessel walls, allowing arteries to relax more easily. However, there is a significant drawback. Sugar. 1 cup contains about 30 grams of sugar, which spikes insulin and can temporarily impair circulation. You gain benefit on one side while creating a problem on the other. It is also expensive. High-quality tart cherry juice costs around $8 per bottle, which adds up to roughly $50 per month if consumed daily. The verdict is clear. Tart cherry juice works, but slowly, and the sugar content makes it a risky choice if you have diabetes or prediabetes, which, realistically, many people over 60 do. If you choose to use it, dilute it. 1 part juice to 3 parts water, and drink it only in the morning to minimize blood sugar impact. Score: 4 out of 10. Effective, but with notable drawbacks. Drink number 7, pomegranate juice. Pomegranate juice is more powerful than tart cherry juice. It contains punicalagins, potent antioxidants that protect nitric oxide from breaking down too quickly. Research shows pomegranate juice increased blood flow by 22% in older adults after 4 weeks. That is clinically significant. One long-term study also demonstrated a 30% reduction in arterial plaque over the course of a year. The mechanism is elegant. Instead of only increasing nitric oxide production, pomegranate juice preserves the nitric oxide you already have by protecting it from oxidative damage. But once again, sugar becomes the limiting factor. Pomegranate juice contains about 32 grams of sugar per cup and is extremely expensive. In most cases, you are looking at $12 to $15 per bottle. My medical assessment is this. Pomegranate juice works if you can tolerate the sugar and afford it, but there are better options higher on this list that provide stronger benefits at a fraction of the cost. If you choose to use it, select pure juice with no added sugars and dilute it heavily. Score: 5 out of 10. Effective, but expensive and sugary. That brings us to drink number 6, the cocoa drink. Cocoa-based drinks made from real, unsweetened cocoa powder are legitimate circulation boosters. From a medical standpoint, this is well supported. The flavonols in cocoa significantly increase nitric oxide production. A large meta-analysis reviewing 42 clinical studies found that cocoa improved blood flow by an average of 24%. And here's the part that surprises many patients. The effect begins quickly. Often within 2 hours of drinking it. People feel it. The legs start to warm. Tingling improves. Circulation changes are noticeable, not subtle. But this only works if it's done correctly. I am not referring to commercial hot chocolate mixes loaded with sugar. I'm talking about pure, unsweetened cocoa powder mixed with hot water or milk. The effective dose is important. The therapeutic range is about 20 to 30 grams of cocoa powder per day, which provides roughly 500 to 700 milligrams of flavonols. That is the amount consistently used in research. The downside is obvious. It does not taste good without a sweetener. And if you add sugar or honey, you recreate the same metabolic problem we saw with fruit juices. The practical solution is to use a small amount of stevia or monk fruit sweetener. Have you ever noticed how quickly circulation improves when sugar is removed from the equation? With no impact on blood sugar, you still get the full vascular benefit. Score: 6 out of 10. Highly effective when prepared correctly. Drink number 5. Watermelon juice. Now we are clearly entering the top tier. Watermelon juice is a nitric oxide powerhouse. The reason is simple. It is rich in L-citrulline. L-citrulline is an amino acid that your body converts directly into nitric oxide, and watermelon contains more of it than almost any other common food. One 16-ounce glass provides approximately 1,000 milligrams of L-citrulline. Studies show that watermelon juice improves arterial function by about 28% after 6 weeks. It also significantly lowers blood pressure and reduces arterial stiffness. The effect on leg circulation is particularly strong. Many people report warm feet within 3 hours of drinking it. The deep, heavy, achy sensation in the legs often diminishes within a week. And unlike other juices, watermelon has a lower glycemic load. Yes, it contains sugar, but that effect is moderated by its high water content and fiber. The main limitation is availability. Fresh watermelon juice is practical mostly during summer months. Buying whole watermelons year-round becomes expensive and inconvenient. Still, when accessible, watermelon juice delivers exceptional results, but if you can get your hands on it, watermelon juice is unquestionably a top 5 circulation drink. From a clinical perspective, the results are consistent. Score: 7 out of 10. Excellent outcomes, but limited by availability. Drink number 4. Hibiscus tea. This is one most people have never been told about, and frankly, it's criminally underrated. Hibiscus tea contains organic acids and anthocyanins that lower blood pressure and improve blood flow. But the real value lies in how it supports endothelial function. The endothelium is the inner lining of your blood vessels. When it becomes damaged, circulation rapidly deteriorates. A 6-week clinical study showed that hibiscus tea reduced systolic blood pressure by an average of 11 points and improved blood flow by 31%. 31%. And what's remarkable is the speed. Many people notice improvements within about 10 days. Cramping decreases. Numbness fades. And from a practical standpoint, it's extremely affordable, about $3 for a box that can last an entire month. How often do you come across something this effective that costs less than a cup of coffee? Preparation matters. Steep 2 hibiscus tea bags in hot water for 10 minutes. Drink it twice daily, once in the morning and once in the evening. The flavor is tart, similar to cranberry. If needed, a small amount of stevia is appropriate. The only real caution is blood pressure. Hibiscus can lower it significantly, so if you're already taking blood pressure medication, you should speak with your physician before using it regularly. Score: 8 out of 10. Powerful, affordable, and fast-acting. Drink number 3. Celery juice. Celery juice became extremely popular a few years ago, and many of the claims surrounding it were exaggerated or unsupported. However, when it comes specifically to circulation, the science is solid. Celery is rich in natural nitrates, which the body converts into nitric oxide through a well-documented biological process. This process begins in the mouth. Beneficial bacteria on the tongue convert nitrates into nitrites. Then, stomach acid converts those nitrites into nitric oxide. One 16-ounce glass of celery juice provides approximately 250 milligrams of dietary nitrates. That amount is sufficient to increase blood flow by roughly 35 to 40% within 3 hours. While athletes have used celery juice for performance enhancement for years, it works just as effectively for older adults trying to preserve leg circulation. Did you know your mouth plays such a critical role in improving blood flow? Research supports this. A study published in the journal Hypertension found that nitrates from whole vegetables improved circulation more effectively than synthetic nitrate supplements. Fresh celery juice is ideal, which means using a juicer. About 4 to 5 large celery stalks are needed for 1 glass. Drink it on an empty stomach first thing in the morning for maximum absorption. The taste is polarizing, but the physiological effect is undeniable. It's salty, earthy, and very green tasting. Not pleasant. But if you are truly serious about improving your circulation, most patients decide it's worth tolerating. From a clinical perspective, the results justify the inconvenience. Score: 8.5 out of 10. Extremely effective, but with a strange taste and the need for equipment. Drink number 2, the arugula smoothie. Arugula is the most concentrated natural source of dietary nitrates available. Pound for pound, it outperforms every other vegetable in nitrate content. 2 cups of arugula provide approximately 480 milligrams of nitrates, and that is a substantial dose. When arugula is blended into a smoothie with a small amount of fruit to offset its peppery flavor, it becomes a powerful circulation enhancer. Clinical studies consistently show that nitrate-rich leafy greens improve blood flow by about 42% after 2 weeks of daily consumption. 42%. That level of improvement is difficult to achieve even with medication. Have you ever been told that something as simple as a leafy green could rival prescription treatments for circulation? Here is the preparation I recommend. 2 cups of fresh arugula, 1 cup of blueberries, half a banana, and 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk. Blend until smooth and drink it immediately. This timing matters because nitrates degrade quickly after blending. The effect on leg circulation is often dramatic. Within a week, many people report significantly less cramping, warmer feet, and improved walking endurance. Within a month, visible changes often appear in skin color and texture on the legs. The only reason this is not ranked number 1 is practicality. Not everyone wants to prepare and drink a green smoothie every day. It requires commitment and a steady supply of fresh arugula. But from a medical standpoint, when patients stick with it, the results frequently exceed those seen with most prescription circulation medications. Score: 9 out of 10. Extremely powerful, but requires daily effort. Drink number 1, beetroot juice. This is the clear leader. Beetroot juice is the most effective circulation drink available. Beets contain the highest concentration of dietary nitrates in a form that is easily consumed. 1 8-ounce glass delivers approximately 300 to 400 milligrams of nitrates, depending on the beets. The body converts these nitrates into nitric oxide with remarkable efficiency. Blood flow increases by 30 to 50% within 2 to 3 hours. This has been confirmed through flow-mediated dilation testing, blood pressure measurements, and arterial stiffness assessments. But what truly sets beetroot juice apart is not just how fast it works. It works quickly, and the effects last. Unlike drinks that provide a short-lived boost, beetroot juice produces sustained improvements in vascular function. A landmark study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that older adults who consumed beetroot juice daily for 15 days experienced a 45% improvement in leg blood flow, a 38% reduction in arterial stiffness, a 22% improvement in walking endurance, and a significant reduction in claudication pain. Patients often report warmer legs within hours. Cramping diminishes within days. And within 2 weeks, many describe the change as life-altering. Proper use is essential. Drink 8 ounces of pure beetroot juice every morning on an empty stomach. This is critical for maximum absorption. Choose only pure, pressed beet juice, no added ingredients, no fillers, just beets. Most grocery stores carry beetroot juice now, typically costing between $6 and $8 per bottle. You can also prepare it yourself if you own a juicer, for medium beets yield roughly 8 ounces of juice. The taste is earthy and slightly sweet. Some people genuinely enjoy it. Others simply tolerate it because the results are so noticeable. There is one important thing I always warn patients about. Your urine may turn pink or reddish after drinking beet juice. This is called bituria, and it occurs in about 10 to 15% of people. It is completely harmless and not a cause for concern. Another medical consideration is oxalate content. Beets contain oxalates, so if you have a history of kidney stones, you should consult your physician before using beetroot juice regularly. But for the vast majority of adults over 60 struggling with leg circulation, beetroot juice is the single most effective option available. Score: 10 out of 10. Maximum effectiveness, strong evidence, and affordable. Now let me explain exactly how to implement this correctly. Start with beetroot juice every morning, 8 ounces on an empty stomach. This is your foundation. In the afternoon, you may add either hibiscus tea or celery juice if you want to accelerate results. You do not need both. Choose one and remain consistent. Ask yourself honestly, have you ever given one circulation strategy enough time to actually work, or did you stop too soon? If your goal is maximum impact, rotate the arugula smoothie 3 to 4 times per week. The timeline is very consistent. Within 3 days, most people feel warmer legs. Within 1 week, cramping begins to diminish. Within 2 weeks, walking becomes easier and balance improves. Within 1 month, circulation often improves so significantly that it surprises even clinicians during follow-up visits. But consistency is everything. Drinking beetroot juice for 3 days will not produce permanent change. This must become a daily habit, just like brushing your teeth or taking prescribed medications. The difference is that this approach is supported by physiology and costs roughly $30 per month. Compare that with prescription medications that often cost hundreds and come with long lists of side effects. There are also critical mistakes to avoid. First, do not consume these drinks immediately with food. For maximum nitrate absorption, they must be taken on an empty stomach. Wait at least 30 minutes before eating. Second, do not use mouthwash right after consuming nitrate-rich beverages. Mouthwash destroys the beneficial oral bacteria required to convert nitrates into nitrites, a crucial step in nitric oxide production. Third, do not expect overnight miracles. Some improvements appear quickly, but true vascular repair takes weeks. And finally, never stop prescribed medications without speaking to your doctor. These drinks support circulation, but medical supervision remains essential for any significant change in treatment. And finally, one last but critical point. Do not buy processed, sugar-loaded versions of these drinks. Purity matters. Always read the label. Avoid added sugars, preservatives, and artificial ingredients. From a medical perspective, this is where many people unknowingly sabotage their own progress. Here's what this really comes down to. Your body wants to heal. Your blood vessels want to function properly, but they require the correct raw materials to do so. For decades, people have been told that declining circulation is an unavoidable part of aging. That simply is not true. It is preventable. It is reversible. But only if you give your body what it actually needs. These drinks deliver concentrated amounts of the precise compounds your vascular system uses to produce nitric oxide. You are not fighting aging itself. You are correcting a nutritional deficiency created by modern diets. If circulation decline were truly inevitable, why do we see such dramatic improvement when these nutrients are restored? Your great-grandparents regularly consumed beets, leafy greens, and vegetables naturally rich in nitrates. Most people today do not. Instead, diets are dominated by processed foods stripped of these essential compounds. Then, years later, we are surprised when circulation collapses after 60. There is nothing broken about your body. The problem is the diet. Fix the diet and circulation follows. So here is my challenge to you. Commit to drinking beetroot juice every morning for 30 days. Just 30 days. Pay close attention to how your body responds. Notice the warmth gradually returning to your legs. Observe cramping diminishing. Watch your walking endurance improve. Take a photo of your legs today and take another in 30 days. Many people are surprised by the visible changes in skin color, swelling, and overall appearance. This approach works. The science behind it is solid. The results are real. But it only works if you do it. Circulation does not repair itself passively. These drinks provide a practical, evidence-based solution. Start tomorrow morning. 8 ounces of pure beetroot juice on an empty stomach for 30 days. Your legs will feel the difference. Your mobility will improve. And most importantly, your independence will be protected. Let's fix this, starting now.